where this is going versus Sal, something like, having a chance to actually have a bowl season or a winning season or anything like that?
I think there's two things that figuring out means to me. So number one would be the discipline on the team, or the lack thereof, right, when it comes to all the penalties. Clean that up. There's not much to figure out. UTEP loses this game based off of the run defense and the penalties. Those are the biggest eyesores when you look at the film and also the stat box. But the other part would be, and Coach Walden mentioned this, he said, hey, last year they started out 0-2 and they reeled off 9 straight. That's because the team made a decision. Were they going to come to work, or were they going to decide to get better? And he said they focused on getting better as a unit and cleaned up penalty. He said if they clean up penalties, they'll walk away with the win today, and that UTEP has to get out of their own way with their penalties. So it kind of blends in there, but he says he still believes in the process. He's building a program and a culture, and the response to adversity is going to determine the future. So we could get a solid idea based off of these next 3-4 games. So that would be the biggest figuring out, is clean up the penalties, and also who's going to be on the field beside injury out there that isn't on the field right now. And we might see some different faces out there, or different numbers, I should say, in my opinion, based off of the comments that were made tonight.
Jimbo Torres, whoever does the PA announcing, needs to get replaced. Don't do anything to inspire, get the crowd going. You got 40-plus people in attendance. I don't know. I like the PA announcer, and I think he does a pretty okay job. Joe Chacon, hi, I'm a Miner fan. We still exist, but we'd like more. Hashtag repping from Colorado now. Hashtag will be repping from somewhere soon.
Is he going to FOCO for the game against UTEP?
Ooh, probably.
Yeah.
Probably so. He better be out there. Come on, man. And then let's go a couple last ones. Sleepy Kev. I'm sleepy right now. You know how hard it is, brother. It takes years for El Paso to trust Walden again. Losing to an FCS school on the home opener is such a terrible look. Wow, man. Let's do this, guys. We're starting to wind things down. If you've got a late call, now's the time to do it. 915-505-6009. Let's take our last time out of the evening. When we come back, final thoughts. We'll wrap it up here. Miner Talk continues. Presented by Jack in the Box on 600 ESPN El Paso.
This is Mike Norwich, owner of Jack in the Box.
Sal.
Yo.
On behalf of our Jack in the Box team, we want to express our support for all local sports here in Portland. We have an amazing and storied sports history.
YouTube channel and the YouTube live audience is that this was a brutal Miner Talk. Brutal. It was brutal. I didn't think we would do this. I thought this would go a lot of different ways, but I didn't think Miner Talk would go like this, where we're talking about a loss. I'm shocked we're talking about a loss. I'm still like, this feels like a nightmare. This really feels like Groundhog Day nightmare-ish. We're coming back. All right, back here. It is our...
Oh, all right.
All right, we are back here. R.I.P. Rich Homie Quan. Man,
Homie?
Sal.
Yeah.
How sad.
Very sad news. Yeah, actually, it's crazy. I was working out of town this week, and on the way in, I was listening to some throwbacks, and that's crazy to say, man. It's a throwback when it comes to Rich Homie Quan, but was listening to it, was jamming out, and then as soon as I get service again, hear the news. So very unfortunate.
Wow.
And then also yesterday, man, marks the anniversary of Mac Miller's passing as well.
Oh, no,
So
man.
two musical, two guys who have a lot of spots in my playlist. That's for sure.
That's for sure, man. I'll call them legends. Let's call them
Yeah.
icons. Rich Homie Quan, come on.
Before
Little
that,
lifestyle.
There was Homie Quan, man.
There you go. Little lifestyle. Come on, man. Come on, man.
That's
I
the
love
one, yeah.
I love Rich Homie Quan. R.I.P. R.I.P. to Mac Miller too. We're continuing here our final thoughts here on MinerTalk, presented by Jack in the Box. Big shout out to Chris from Inspo Lens. Shout out to our Twitter followers who've chimed in and listened to us throughout the night on our live broadcast. Shout out to the YouTube live stream as well. We'll be posting recaps here after the fact. We'll be posting MinerTalk on demand as well, wherever you listen to podcasts, so you can listen to us after we wrap things up here. Time to turn the page. UTEP next faces. It's Liberty on the road. The Flames just eked out a victory in Las Cruces against the Aggies. That game was as back and forth as it could get, but Liberty ends up winning that one. And Liberty's kind of a weird team, guys, because they started off the season with that big win against Campbell. Zay was explaining how it was a little closer than most will note. Yet tonight, New Mexico State had it. They were up 24-17, I think 24-14 at one point as well. But Liberty had 21 points in the fourth quarter to win this one, Sal. Flames next week,
Yeah.
and this has kind of become a de facto rivalry, not just for UTEP, but for everybody in CUSA. Just beat the Flames because they're the biggest enemies out there.
Nobody in Conference USA likes Liberty. Nobody outside of Conference USA likes Liberty. That team, though, is a team that plays with a swagger, just kind of like an arrogance. And it's not even about football. It's pretty much any damn sport that they have. I'm sure people who saw the Miners take on Liberty last year at the Haskins Center had some feelings of their own just based off of the body language and just aura of them. But when you win, that's exactly what you can do. And Quentin Cooley able to have a solid day today and a pair of fourth quarter touchdowns. That's the team who won the Conference USA Championship last year, and it doesn't look like they're going to slow down anytime soon. So, no, man, Liberty is, they're the new kid on the block who expanded. They're the new kid on the block who gentrified your block, and that's basically what it is, man. It's terrible. I hate them, man, but they're just so good from top to bottom.
You know,
despite what's going on behind the scenes.
It feels like Liberty is a program, in all seriousness, where if they end up running the table and go into the college football playoff, and that's not far off to say, if they're the best group of 5 team and end up being the college football playoff representative, this is Liberty's Conference USA, and everybody else just occupies space. They will rule Conference USA. That'll be back-to-back years. That could also be, I mean, they're seeking to go, 22-0 in the first 2 seasons of the league. They'll catapult out of here if they continue to win this way. So that's a scary part of it too. But you know, Conference USA, I think they're going to hold on to the Flames as long as they can, knowing what you're saying there, Sal. They've got the money, they've got the resources, they got the fan support, they have the success even in other sports, and that's something to keep in mind.
And I guess if you're a Liberty fan, the only downside when it comes to their schedule is that their next 3 games, or I should say part of their next 3 games, after UTEP, they will take on East Carolina and App State. Those are probably their toughest tests when it comes to the remainder of their schedule, and maybe the Conference USA Championship game, but kind of playing against a consistent level of competition could, kind of take all the hard work you've done and lower it a little bit just based off of what you're used to. So we may see them win the Conference USA game. It's just hard to feel good about them going into the postseason. Obviously, we're speaking way, way far ahead, but let's say they do run the table. How much better can they really get if you're playing at Kennesaw State when you're going up against Middle Tennessee in Murfreesboro? That's not a tough game for them. It's tough for UTEP, but it's not for Liberty. And then UMass as well. I mean, these are some of the... And Sam Houston, like, come on, man.
Strength of schedule.
New Mexico State, East Carolina, and App State are their toughest matches, and they're all before the month of September ends. So just something to look at.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, you know what, guys? I don't have UTEP winning this upcoming week. I have it actually as a pretty lopsided victory for the Flames. I think they'll handle business on the road in Lynchburg, or they'll be at home. UTEP will be on the road, but I think they'll handle things pretty nicely over there. For UTEP this week, I assume that they're just going to continue to try to chip at it, find an identity, see the bright spots, and as far as what we'll learn Monday, come the press conference and come Scotty Walden's head coaching interview, I don't think we're going to learn much. I don't really think there's much to say. Alberto, final takeaways from tonight and final takeaways going into next week here for the UTEP Miners.
No matter what's going on, so I hope to see them cut back on just dumb penalties like that, and it's a rough schedule ahead. I talked about how this Southern Utah game was extremely important so that you could build confidence at home. That's kind of now out the window. You disappointed 41,000 people. At least 40,000 people were disappointed, and they might not come back to see you. I told the people, I told this coaching staff whenever I tried, I got to get near them, is the first ones to jump out of the boat is going to be the city. And I think that that's what's happened here today, unfortunately, in front of a lot of fans. But I'm just excited to see what's to come. The one ray of sunshine is it's only up from here.
Yeah, I mean, where are you going from here? You're only going up. So I like that mindset. I'm not out on the season. I'm not out on the team. I'm just on to next week right now. After a nightmarish loss here, as we wind it up here on MinerTalk. Hey, special thanks to Sal Montes, special thanks to Alberto Urreta, and no clue where UTEP Zay is, but early happy birthday to him. His birthday is on Wednesday, so for UTEP Zay, hard work today, and he put it all through this one. He's going to put together a photo library for us. Sal Montes, Alberto Urreta, myself, Adrian Broaddus, we put together this one here on MinerTalk for the podcast, and this is all brought to you by Jack in the Box. We'll be back in action next week. Tune in. MinerTalk will be back after UTEP and Liberty, but until then, we're saying so long, and thanks for listening to MinerTalk. One more time right here on 600 ESPN El Paso.
This is Mike Norwich, owner of Jack in the Box El Paso, Las Cruces.
Yeah.